In 2021, an investor bought a waterfront house for $600,000, planning to run it as an Airbnb. Comps were pulling $4,000 to $6,000 a month in the summer. Then Saint Tammany Parish banned short-term rentals. That income went from $4,000 to $6,000 to zero overnight. He still put in more than $100,000 into renovating it. He's asking $799 today. 4 agents, years on the market, 0 offers. So, was this actually ever a deal? Or did the parish kill this investment before he even had a chance and nobody wants to admit? I'm one of the 4 agents who had this listing. I've walked this house more times than I can count. I've had this conversation directly with the owner. And at one point, he pushed me to advertise it as a short-term rental, knowing full it legally could not operate as one. And I didn't do it. And I'll explain exactly why that matters in a minute. The business the numbers were built on. Back in 2021, the math looks simple. Buy a waterfront for $600,000 when comparable finished waterfront homes are selling for 1.1. Put some renovation dollars in it. Run it as a short-term rental in the meantime. Homes were pulling in $400 or $4,000 to $6,000 a month in peak summer season. That's the Pro Forma. That's the spreadsheet that made $600,000 look like a steal. The Airbnb math that made this look like a deal. $600K purchase, 1.1 in comps once finished, or a $4 to $6K a month in rental income. In the meantime, on paper, not a bad buy. That's the entire reason this deal made sense in 2021. Then Saint Tammany Parish banned short-term rentals. And that one policy change didn't just cost him a summer. It broke his whole plan. So when the government changes the deal, i.e. the parish banned it, his income went to zero. This is the part investors skip when they're running the numbers. You're just underwriting the house. You're not underwriting regulatory environment that the house possibly sits on. Short-term rental income went from $4,000 to $6,000 a month to exactly zero the moment they changed the rules. Not just because the house changed, not because the market changed, because local government decided it didn't want short-term rentals in the parish anymore. This is the second property I personally seen happen to. Same story. Bought it with a short-term rental business model, baked into the numbers, same parish rules, same result. If your investment thesis depends on a use the local government can vote to eliminate, that's not a footnote. That's a risk you price in before you buy, not after. And even without the Airbnb problem, this house had a second one. And this one's built into the walls. This is a house that looks right, because on top of losing short-term rental income, this house still has to work as a straight owner-occupant sale now and walk in, and aesthetically, there's a lot to kitchens remodeled, main living spaces show well. You're on the water, boathouse, decking. It looks good. That's what gets you. You see the kitchen, the water, the size, and you start doing the math. But before you calculate the spread, ask, why am I able to buy it for $600,000 in the first place? Sometimes the discount isn't your profit. Sometimes it's the market pricing a problem. And here, there were 2. No shower on a $799,000 house. Go upstairs, bedrooms up there, no full bathroom servicing them. Half bath only, no shower. So think about actually living here, not touring it, or somebody in those bedrooms wants a shower. They go downstairs. The primary bedroom's got its own bath, but the other bedroom on that floor has to share it. If it's occupied, you're walking all the way to the first floor shower. This is functional obsolescence. Nothing's broken, roof isn't caving in, the kitchen isn't ugly, the house just doesn't function the way buyers expect a house at this price point to function. And that's completely different. That's a completely different problem than needs updating. 2 separate discounts stacked on top of each other. Income the parish took away, and the layout that never worked to begin with. And here's where the seller and I started to really disagree. The owner kept pushing me to market this as an Airbnb ready property, knowing the parish had already banned it. He wanted the listing to lean on income that could not exist anymore. I wouldn't do it. This guy's a classic lipstick on a pig seller. Dress it up, talk around the real problem, hope nobody asks hard questions before they write an offer. I don't operate that way. And I told him that directly. Some of the materials used in the renovation were cheaper than what I'd want to see on a waterfront home at this price point too. There's a flood component. The driveway takes on roughly 8 inches of water in certain storms. Not the house, the driveway. But if you're buying waterfront and you're buying the whole experience of owning it, driveway included. The owner got $600K purchase plus $100K in renovations, minus an income stream the parish erased. So you understand where the $799 comes from. That's his math. But the next buyer doesn't care about what you put into a property. They don't owe you your purchase price. They don't owe you your renovation budget. They don't owe you an Airbnb income that the parish took away. They're standing in your house asking one question: what else can I buy for this money? I told the owner directly, something needs to change functionally upstairs, and the pricing needs to reflect that the short-term rental income gone for good. Or the price needs to adjust to what the market would actually pay. Years of exposure, 4 agents, multiple listings, 0 offers. Isn't a slow start. It's freaking data. Eventually, I fired the client. I don't have the patience for a list-to-list client. List it, market gives us an answer. We don't like the answer, pull it, change agents, change photos, rewrite the description, and things that actually matter never change. The product hasn't changed, the short-term rental income isn't coming back, and the pricing expectation hasn't adjusted enough. I'm an agent. I'm not a magician. Marketing exposes a property to the market. It cannot force the market to value a property differently, and it definitely can't unban a short-term rental. So let's go back to 2021. Was $600,000 actually a deal? If the discount was because the kitchen was ugly or the flooring was old, fine, renovate it, price it, create value from it. But here, the discount was 2 things stacked together: regulatory risk nobody priced in, and a layout problem money can't fully fix. $100K in renovation didn't touch either one. So the question isn't what could this be worth after I renovate it? It's why is it discounted today, and how much of that discount is government, not the house? If you can't answer that clearly before you close, you don't actually know what you're buying. The property is still sitting there. Waterfront, 6 figures in renovations. Income that used to be 4 to 6K a month, now 0 because of a parish vote. $799K ask, and the market isn't giving the owner the answer he wants. Would you have bought this house for $600K in 2021, knowing what you know now about the short-term rental ban? Tell me your number in the comments. And this is the second property I've watched this happen to. If you want to see the first one, let me know down there too. If you want to see more of these, real deals, real numbers, real mistakes, subscribe, because this is exactly the kind of story I break down every week. Every property has a story. Sometimes that story begins long before the first offer is ever written.